too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows. I been on the road, I don't care where I go, long as I get paid. Bad little vibe, she been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can slay. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise. Every other night, another movie get made. Drip too hard, don't stand too close, you gon' fuck around and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows. I been on the road, I don't care where I go, long as I get paid. Bad little vibe, she been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can slay. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise. Every other night, another movie get made.
Every other night, another dollar getting made. Every other night started with a good day. I feel like a child, I got boogers in the face. I'm dancing in the dollar, this is a parade. I don't want your train, I'm gon' want another slave. I had that draw that like too many bitches getting saved. TSU arrest me, so I took a private plane. Get like it while I'm working on my aim. Drip too hard, charge to the car. Designer to the ground, I can barely spell a name. Drip too hard, caution on the floor. You gon' fuck around and drown, try and ride it away.
Drip too hard, don't stand too close. You gon' fuck around and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows. I been on the road, I don't care where I go, long as I get paid. Bad little vibe, she been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can slay. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise. Every other night, another movie get made. Drip too hard, don't stand too close. You gon' fuck around and drown. Off this way, doing all these shows. I been on the road, I don't care where I go, long as I get paid. Bad little vibe, she been on my mind. Soon as I get back, she can slay. Do this all the time, this ain't no surprise. Every other night, another movie get made.
When we could be superstars, we've been rather wrecking cars.
Hey bro, is that Jambo?
What is at stake for us? Kicking off cold mirrors. Yeah, we could be superstars, but I'm pretty sure our time is up. And so we fell off the spinning tops.
Say you my be your killer, nobody gonna play with you when I'm with you. Go against any like this glitter, skeet all dirt on bitches. I put it in for you, I spin for you, whatever you with, I'm with it. How you gon' cross the nigga out rockin' with you? I got you lit in the city. I been multitasking, rapping and being the daddy to my little children. I been spinning on business and spinning and spinning and spinning until I'm dizzy. I do all the smack, you ain't never step or help with none of you killing. You doing a lot of capping, watch when I catch, I'ma whack in front of witness. Damn, you tripping, we could've been superstars. Remember when we were jacking cars? Now it's not safe for you. You switch like a little. Damn, you tripping. We could've been superstars. Can't help it, now I'm reminiscing. Remember when we were jacking cars? Now you better keep your distance, cause it's not safe for you. You switch like a little. Track hard with the kid, snatch off from the. When I slide, nightlight on the blick. Bet I'm on my. When I'm outside, so them ran down, caught them pants down. I knew the perk was fake, but I still ate it, cause I'm a gremlin. Yeah, cut those business, KTV, back door wide open. Wait till my sniper get out, all you gon' die. Time rolling, bustin' on my opponent, no hand stepping. Crush my arms totally, wood jet broke, no motion. Sleeping on sofas, creeping in highs like roaches. I done went cage to stage the cage. Now free me, baby, can't keep me, baby. I beat them cases, they already hate me. They gon' want me dead when I'm on probation. Oh, y'all think Lil Yak retarded? Y'all ain't seen nothing yet, I promise. Can't take me, can't guard me. I be on like Charmin, aka 28 Carvin. We could've been superstars. Remember when we were jacking cars? Now it's not safe for you. You switch like a little. Damn, you tripping. We could've been superstars. Can't help it, now I'm reminiscing. Remember when we were jacking cars? Now you better keep your distance, cause it's not safe for you. You switch like a. Track hard with the kid, snatch off on the. When I slide, nightlight on the blick. Bet I'm on my when I'm outside. So them ran down, caught them pants down. I knew the perk was fake, but I still ate it, cause I'm a gremlin.
Yeah, we could be.
There by the record machine, I knew he must have been about 17. The beat was going strong, blame
I grind all day. Gonna make a million, son, that someday. You know I'm in the rhythm when I write this way. Put me in the pound when I bite this game. Bitch, I'm an animal. Eating these rappers, I swear I'm a cannibal. About to fulfill all my dreams, I'm a fiend. I've been plotting and scheming, this shit is obscene. I rise on fleek, what in the fuck does all that even mean? Seems like we're scared of how others perceive, but let me be straight up, this shit is for me. Me, this shit is for me. Bitch, verbatim, working all day, these games I'm playing. Killing every shitty rapper, motherfucker slam. Let them all know I'm about to win it when they bum my shit right now. Right now. Ain't nobody fucking around town right now. Ain't nobody fucking with a sound right now. Ain't nobody fucking around town my shit right now. Right now. Ain't nobody fucking around town right now. Ain't nobody fucking with a sound right now. Ain't nobody fucking around town my shit right now.
Oh, I just realized I got no mic. All right, we good? We good? Hello, hello. Mic check 1 2. How's everybody doing today? So you guys didn't hear me talking the whole time. It was probably a good thing. Embarrassing myself with technology. What is this? Where's my chat? Where's my chat? Can I get a hello from somebody in chat? Just want to see why this is not working. Looks like it should be working. Nope. Okay, cool. We'll go as we go. So it's first time streaming on YouTube in a little while here, so I'm just making sure I got everything set up for us here. Looks like everything is a go. Make sure chat is open. I couldn't possibly imagine you guys not wanting to chat with me. All right, cool. All right, so this is going to be, I'm just going to do like a live walkthrough of OBS. I wanted to talk about, there's a couple, there's been some issues with the plugins that's been happening. With the iOS camera specifically plugin, it's been causing a lot of issues. So I wanted to touch on that really quick. And then I got some questions that have already been submitted. So I'll be answering those, and feel free if you guys have questions to toss them in the chat. Let me make sure this is, there we go, okay. How's the music? Is it too loud? I feel like it's too loud, right? Maybe my mic's not loud enough. Maybe I should get closer to my mic. How's that? Bang, bang, skeet, skeet. All right, everybody's being a little shy today. It's all right. Hopefully you guys will step out of your shell here soon. All right, with that being said, let me go ahead and set up OBS so I can show you what I got going on here. So it's got to be set up a little bit differently because mic check 1 2. All right, so that's what we're gonna do now. Boom, boom. Now I got this where I need it. Perfect. All right, let me turn this off. Yo, sounds fine. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate you. trying to open up my test instance of OBS, and it's giving me a hard time, and I can't do it on here because I'm obviously streaming. So I don't know if it's the stream that's messing it up because it was just working. But either way, what we can do is I can walk through the process for you guys, and then I'll take some questions. It was designed basically for the questions anyway. Getting going on whatnot is the easy part. Setting it up is not as easy, but I can take care of all that for you. Jeff, if you did have any questions, feel free to drop that in the chat there. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through. I'm going to share actually my OBS screen. Weird enough, and I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and why is this not changing? Oh, everybody's being some funny stuff today. All right, there we go. Okay, we're gonna change this here. Where's our OBS share? Oh man, this thing is really trying to be a pain in my ass right now, and it just worked last night when I tested it. I don't know if it's the update or I don't know if it's the thing, but either way, I got a backup plan here, so give me a second. We're going to open up the presentation here. I got a PowerPoint for this. It's a little outdated, but not so much, so I can walk you through it. And then again, we'll go with the Q&A. I don't know. I tested this yesterday because I was sure it wasn't going to work, and then it did work. I was like, okay, that's going to be easier than I need to then. So I'm going to have to come up with another way of doing it, but that's fine. Because we're going to start doing these live streams here probably once a week. It won't always be OBS, but I think they're probably well needed. Listing. Yeah, I need to get back in the groove of this. All right, cool. Where are we at here? No camera here. Where's my camera? That's fine for now. Anyway, while I get this up. How's everybody doing today? It's where are we at? Tuesday? Oh, we're not quite at hump day yet, huh? We're not over that edge. That's all right. How's everybody doing? All right, there's our OBS. Guys, in this OBS presentation, if you did want to grab that, just type PowerPoint in the chat, and it should pop up a link. If not, I can get you guys a link to it after the show. Just remind me. Again, this is first time back on YouTube in a while, so it might be a little bit rusty, but I guarantee you the value is here. At least that's what everybody tells me. That's why I'm doing it. So that being said, we're going to come back over here. We're going to add this presentation to our... Oh, I got the PDF version. That's okay, though. Bam. Just like that. Can everybody see that okay? This is way... There we go. We are up and running now. All right, how's that look? Everything okay? Everything looking good, clean? Boom, 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 boom. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, homie. All right, now we're good to go, my friend. Sorry for the little delay there, but every time I try to prepare, it never works out. So then I almost end up doing better, just doing it live. There's a little bit of a lag I'm noticing, but that's all right. It's about 3 seconds, so if you put your questions in, just give me a second to answer it. I gotta mess with the settings on this, which I can't do once I'm live, and I'm not gonna delay any longer. We've waited 5 minutes already. Let's go ahead and keep it going. All right, so setting up a computer to stream the live on Whatnot. It's pretty straightforward. Basically, I'll give you a quick overview here before I dive into this. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and download the software. Things never break when it's. I know, and you know what? Would it even be convenient if it was to break, right? Like, maybe that, I don't know. You know, me trying to be philosophical. That's not me. I'll stay in my lane. I'll stay as a tech nerd here. I'm going to stay in my lane on that one. I tried and I failed hard. All right. So, yeah, essentially, just to get live, it's pretty straightforward. I do have another video I'm putting out because I know the initial video that everybody's been looking at, it's for the most part been well received, but there's a few comments about either being too long, confusing. Yeah, I appreciate you, Jeff. Too long or confusing, or me rambling, which I've been getting better at, or the music too loud. So that's another reason why I wanted to make sure the music was not overtaking my my beautiful, sexy voice here that is somewhat annoying. So if at any time you can't hear me or you feel like I should change something up, just go ahead and let me know. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to just run through this. Like, if you don't give a shit about what the settings do, or sorry, what I was saying was I have a video. It's the same way I'm going to do this. That's going to be dropping soon, which is essentially just a speed run of setting up OBS, because a lot of people also, feedback I got was they didn't care about the details of why they're doing something or what the settings do, because they're not going to change it anyway. And so made sense for me to remake another video, just kind of like a speed run. So there's 2 versions for people to have. So that's going to be dropping soon. It'll probably be scheduled to go out probably before the end of this week. So I have that, but that's essentially also what we're going to do here. And then I'm going to take some questions. I have some questions that were already submitted, and then whatever you guys put in the chat, we'll grab those. This guy's, no, who is that? I want to make sure I'm not missing a meeting. No, I think I'm good. I cleared off everything. I think I'm good. So there's being that. Thank you for your patience for me getting set up. What we're going to do is I'm going to tell you the quick run through here. We're going to download OBS. We're going to go ahead and get the settings set up. We're going to set up a basic kind of configuration. We're going to download, We're going to go ahead and get our settings set up as well for Whatnot. We're going to go to Whatnot and show you how to do a quick go live on Whatnot. That was one of the things that seemed to be missing from the last video as well, or from the main video. So I'm going to go through that stuff, and then I'm open to questions. Feel free to stop me during the presentation too if you have questions. Right, so this is basically for you guys to get a better understanding of how it works. If you have questions about anything along the way, feel free to just throw that in the chat and be like, hey, what about this, if it's a topic of what we're talking about. And then, yeah, and I'll answer to the best of my ability. If not, I'll always get you answer. So, and then I also want to talk about the recent issues with the iOS camera plugin for your phone, and how to fix that if you are having those issues. If not, I'll be dropping a video on that separately. I'm not going to waste everybody's time if they're not coming into or not experiencing that issue. All right. So this presentation, I don't think I put a link for it because I wasn't planning on using it, but you can get it if you want. Just let me know and I'll get you a link to it at the end of the video, or you can check out the main video and it's there as well. Without further ado, we're going to get started here. So basically you're going to go, here's a link on this presentation. You're going to go, you can just like search, you can pretty much just search like, what am I trying to say? You can search Google for OBS, right? If you need to, just put like OBS Studio download and you'll get it. Otherwise, you can grab it from here. Was this not on the right window? It is not on the right window. Let me close this because this has no business being open. You can grab it on here, which is that link, and it's just obsproject.com. So you can either navigate directly to obsproject.com and download it, use the link, or just Google OBS Studio download. If you're using Mac or Windows, you'll download that here. You just click on it. You can also, I don't say Linux because most people don't use it, but just select whatever system you're using, download it, and it's automatically going to start. It'll should automatically start downloading, or no, it'll take you to where you need to be, and then you download it. So you can see I'm on the Windows version, download installer here, and then that will just start the download for me, and then you'll just open it up and run through the installer like you would any other program, which should be here. So you'll see, yeah, you just run through a couple like things like OK to accept, OK to install, so approve the location, and then hit install. And then when you open up OBS Studio, you're going to see a scene. You're going to see, it's going to ask you if you want to do some initial, it's like going to recommend settings for you. You do not need to do that because we're going to change them all anyway. So if you do see that scene, just go ahead and hit cancel or no thank you or whatever, and then continue on. That'll open up just like a blank canvas within OBS, and then you'll be able to get ready to start configuring from there. Now, the first thing you want to do, actually, I'm going to switch the order of this. I think it's going to be better to talk about this later. I think it's going to make more sense because we'll do it when we go to talk about connecting with whatnot. So I'm going to come back to this later. Everything else here, we're going to set up the settings for. So you're going to go to settings on OBS, and it's going to be on the bottom right corner by default, or you can go on the top left to file and then hit settings. And then you're going to go ahead and have a screen like this you see on the right here, which is not capturing my mouse. Everything is being a pain in the ass today. That's okay though. Capture cursor. There we go. All right, so you'll see a scene like this on the right, or like you'll see a box like this that comes up. It's going to have all these options on the left, the tabs, and then all these options in the middle. All this does is explain everything here, but like I said, we're just going to speed run through this. So what you're going to do is you're going to basically just go down the list here, start with the stream tab, and on the stream tab, this is a better view here. On the stream tab, you're going to just change it to whip, like cool whip. So it'll be on like standard stream or whatever the default is. When you click on stream, I'm trying to see if there's one here. Yes. So down here you can see on the stream tab, you'll go ahead and change the service up top. That's going to change that to whip, and then that's it. That's all you're going to do. This stuff here will get automatically filled in later. You don't have to do anything with that. After you go to the stream tab, you hit whip. Then you're going to go down to your output tab, which is going to bring us back here to this crazy page. And basically all of these settings, sorry about that, all these settings that you see here is what you're going to fill in. So basically you're going to go to the top tab. You're going to change that. There we go. You're going to go up here. You're going to change the output mode to advanced. This should be on like basic or simple. You're going to make sure once you change it, it's going to update this audio encoder. So you want to make sure that that's going to remain, that's going to stay there. Video encoder should be X264. I'm going to circle back on these settings here in a second. If you do have a GPU or if you have a gaming computer, there's some other settings that you can change on here. So I'm going to circle, but I'm going to walk through this real quick for a standard setup, and then I'm going to walk back through the settings that they don't tell you about, which is to be able to use your gaming rig, which is the point of it, is so you can use your GPU as the video encoder, which will make the stream a lot smoother. So if you don't have a gaming rig, or if you know you don't have a GPU, go ahead and set the settings up like this. So your video encoder is going to be X264. Rate control is going to be CBR. Your bit rate 3500 kpps. Your keyframe interval is going to be set to 2. And your CPU usage preset, you have 3 options there. You have very fast, you have super fast, and you have, I don't know, there's top 3 options like very fast, super fast, mega fast, or something like that. The last one's the top one. That one, basically, these are going to be, if you look right here, the higher the preset, the less CPU. So if you want the stream to run faster, smoother, especially if you don't have a GPU, you can go between like super fast, right? Go to the next level up, or just start here. So very fast is going to be the most intensive on your computer. So pick one of those 3. I usually like to start right in the middle with super fast, and then you can adjust from there. And then you're going to change this tune option to 0 tolerancy. Right? once you have that once you have that zero tolerance, once you have this set, then you're going to move on to the audio tab on the left there. Now I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a second to, I think I have a screen here for, if not, then I'm going to go back. This guide has pretty much everything you need in it. I'm going to be updating it soon, but it's very useful. So if you guys want it, let me know. So it doesn't talk about it here. So basically, I'm going to go through this. It's somewhere in this guide, but I don't want to scroll all the way through. So basically, if you do have a GPU, for the most part, like let's say I'm going to use like NVIDIA, like a RTX, GTX, whatever. You're going to go to this video encoder, and you're going to hit the drop-down menu, and you're going to see something that says like very similar to, it's going to say like NVEC, NVIDIA NVEC H.264, or if you have a different GPU, it's going to have different options depending on what your GPU is, but it's always going to show, it's always going to have like H.264 or .264 or X264 at the end, and you want to make sure that it's the hardware option, so it'll say like the name or brand or similar to what your encoder is. So like, for example, NVIDIA NVEC, right? And then it has that 264 at the end, and the reason for that is because that's going to be using the same, it's going to use the same encoder settings. It's just using it through the GPU versus through your CPU, which you don't need to know about, so that's why we're here. But that's what's going to save your quality on your stream, and take that load off of your computer and get rid of all the overheating and crashing and all of that stuff that some people talk about. Once you do that, you're going to have these encoder settings change. Again, this is going to vary depending on what your GPU is, but essentially you're going to use, it's either going to be like rate control, it's going to be like CBR, or it's going to be something similar, like the full layout of it, right? You want to keep the bitrate the same, and you want to keep the keyframe interval the same. The CPU usage preset is going to change. You'll have different options. Most of the time, you'll see something that's like P5, P6, P7, and that's going to work the opposite of this. So P7 will be the highest quality, versus like CPU usage preset would be, you know, the top option would be the lower quality. So if you're using a GPU or graphics card with your rig, and you want to go the alternate route, there is a slide in here. I'll make sure I go through it with you later, but you want to make sure, if you want that higher quality, you use the P7 setting. And then the zero tolerance usually is also there under the tune. And then everything else for the GPU settings, typically you just can leave as is. Again, I'm just speed running this. I'm going to drop a video on this soon, and it's all in this guide as well. I just want to make sure if there's stop at anywhere where somebody has questions for this, and then we can move on to the other stuff, the issues with the plugin and the Q&A that I have. So yeah, I think that's it for that one. Covered all of that. This on here, this is going to be on the video tab. Where's the audio tab? What happened to this thing? Okay, so for the audio tab, where the hell is the audio? This is weird. Okay, I'm missing stuff from this presentation. I'm going to have to... The audio tab, basically, there's going to be two... I can describe it to you because I've seen it a million times. And I'll find it and put it in here and make sure this guide is updated. But for the audio, you're going to have a top section, which is going to be... where you're going to have a top section that's just for like some settings and stuff. And then under that is going to be your main section. The top drop down on the second section of the audio tab is going to be your desktop audio. If you want to share your desktop audio, you would change that from disabled to either your preferred speaker, or I just typically use default for that option. And then if you go 2 options down, you have your microphone option. It's going to say mic auxiliary. You can change that one. I like to set as my actual microphone. So right now I have that set as this one. If you have multiple microphones, there is other options for an additional mic. If not, that's all you got to do for the audio settings part. And then you would move on to the video section, which would be here. And all you got to do here is update this base canvas and the output resolution to 1080 by 1920. There's not going to be a drop-down option. Most people will want to default and go look for the drop-down. There's no drop-down. You can just delete it and type it in manually. And that's it. Leave that at 30 FPS. And then you should be good to go. again, talk about the stream settings here. We did that. Talked about that earlier. It was the first thing we did. This I don't believe is relevant anymore. This table, I think Whatnot has done away with this. So this was like if you had a higher output bit rate and you want to kind of take advantage of that, they gave you like some scaling options that will make sure it works for theirs. I don't believe that's relevant anymore. I don't know if it works or not. I've never used it. 3500 is good for me. Using the phone. I mean, our primary viewing device is on a phone, right? So the scale of what you're looking at, the quality is not going to make a big difference on that. There is, in this guide now, I'm going to show you a few different sections here. You got the troubleshooting section. So this is going to tell you like what to do if you run into certain issues, which should be in a different section. The iOS camera here, we're going to talk about this a little bit more in depth. I'm going to skip this part because this is one of the things I wanted to chat about. I need to update this because there have been some issues recently with the people's streams not working with the the latest OBS update. What is this? This is just a quick overview of OBS itself. So again, I was going to share some of the stuff with you, but I'll make a separate recording for this and talk about it, and it'll be in the new video. So this is the audio settings I was talking about. If you go to the audio mixer panel on the left hand side, desktop audio and mic audio. Now, the way you guys hear the music now, you can also set up the music like this for your Whatnot stream or any stream, and it's relatively straightforward. Now, I do recommend, unless you're okay with like having your volume low, but if you like to have like a whole vibe going on and you want to have your speakers out there blasting and you want to have music playing everywhere, I would recommend finding an alternate option. I can get away with it doing it here the way I have my setup, but just in case I don't want feedback or anything, I wear headphones when I do streams like this or I record videos. And the reason for that is because the way you share your audio, like how you hear the music playing in the background, is you're going to enable your desktop audio to be set up for monitor and output. They made this a lot easier now. Actually, there is no monitor and output option. It's just monitor on or off, and you can do it simply right from the dashboard too. So it makes it pretty straightforward. So I would set it up that way, and then you can that will allow the stream to capture whatever audio you have going on from your desktop. I think there's some new ways of doing this now, but again, this latest OBS update just came out, so I'll probably be doing another live stream next week to kind of go over some of the new changes and all of that with this latest update, because I have noticed some cool stuff. And then we're good here. These are just some additional... Oh, here, this is where I talk about the GPU stuff and all that. But I think this also, I have given you some tips in here of best practices for light, for audio, for settings, for optimizing either for performance or for speed, right? So either you're going to the computer's going to do better quality, or it's going to run smoother. And that's typically for people who have, trying to run the streams with computers that don't have GPUs in them. Because typically newer ones that have gaming rigs and all that, they're pretty straightforward. So that's this optimization portion here as well. So I wouldn't mess with this unless you're having issues. The only thing I would mess with is the audio. I don't know if my mic sounds pretty good. I've been using it lately. This is a newer mic I tried. It's actually relatively inexpensive, and that's the reason I got it, was to try to test it out. And I actually kind of like it better than my $200 Hypercast or HyperX Quadcast mic that I've been using for a while. So I've actually kept it up. And then with the, I haven't applied much of these filters, but I would definitely go through this if you want to have like a nice crisp audio. I mean, I don't know if Jeff or anybody else is still here. If it sounds pretty clear, crystal clear, can pick up really well. I don't know if it's too loud or not, and if it's picking up any other sounds. But I haven't put the filters on like I should. But these filters right here, if you follow these instructions, you will get to a place where it's going to sound like a good studio quality. I mean, when we were at, I just came back from the National. We did a live stream at National on, I'm actually going to play a video so you can hear the quality. I actually we did a live stream at the National this past weekend, and with applying not even all of these settings, just some of these settings, Yo, appreciate you for that feedback. Just doing some of these settings, and mind you, the National is crazy loud, right? There's people all over the place, and you can see. Where's our video? I actually just realized I don't have any actual clips from the stream. This is from my phone, so it's not going to sound as good. So never mind. But we did do the National, and like you literally can't hear anything that's going on in the background. And our streamers sounded they straight clear. We're doing interviews with people. We had we had two setups. We were doing pack rips over here, and on the other side, we had doing interviews with some of our donators and representatives from other companies like Panini and like some of these other places. And so you can not hear us in the stream, right? Unless I started getting loud, which some of you guys know I start getting excited, start yelling. But you can't hear us overlapping them, but you also cannot hear any of the 20,000 people that are just outside of our booth during trade night, which I can actually show you that. But I know I'm getting a little off track here, but I feel like it's just us, Jeff, which I'm fine with. But just so you can kind of get an idea. We're still running live over here on. Never mind. I don't have the video I thought I did, so that's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to waste we're not going to waste time. All right. So anyway, the point is, if you follow these, your audio is going to sound awesome. And then Jeff, if you were interested, let me know. I can put you a link with this later. I don't have no affiliate or anything set up with them. It's just I try to find like good products for like people always ask me for lower budget setups. And this mic, I think the boom arm was expensive, but I wanted this type of boom arm because the one I've had for the longest is kind of it was always in my way. So the boom arm was what cost me the money, but I think the mic I only paid like $60 for, which is pretty. This is the one I've been recommending, and everybody else has been loving it too. So pretty awesome. So yeah, follow these settings in OBS, and your audio found is amazing. For video optimization, I mean, you guys can see I don't know if you can see. I'm actually in the dark right now, right? And this is like I would venture to dare to say that my stream looks pretty damn good right now. And I have one light all the way on the lowest setting, and I say that to say, and I can prove it to you. Hopefully I don't mess this up. Nope, I'm messing it up. There we go. That's the only light I have. You can see there's no lights coming down from up top. There's no lights to my side, to my front. It's just me, and then, well, there's the light behind me, right? So I got my neon back there. Right, and so it's just all about the usage of your lighting. And so what makes this look pretty clear, one is I got a good camera. Again, not a bad camera for the price. I can even get you a new one I started recommending, was even cheaper than that one, but basically operates the same. But essentially, it's not just the camera, though. I have the one light placed right here that's giving me, kind of the direct subject light that I need. But what's making it work really good with the camera is actually the neon light behind me, because that's creating that layer. It's creating the layer of separation from the background, and so it allows the picture to be picked up cleaner, as well as obviously I got a couple of not filters, but like adjustments, like contrast. I got the contrast turned up just a little bit, so that when it gets fed over to whatnot, it comes through a little bit cleaner, as well as exposure turned up, so the camera does absorb the light a little bit better, and I think the brilliance I have tweaked just a little bit. So it's just about knowing the settings and like how to use your light, because I know people say all the time they don't have great lighting, and so I think that's very important, especially when you're down here, having the right lighting for breaking, showing things up close, or even if you're just showing other products, you want to have like good lighting to be able to show that off, especially if you're dealing with like jewelry, if you're dealing with like trading cards, where that littlest, the littlest nick on the corner, right, is going to have, you want to be able to give the good light on that. And so when you start bringing it up close to the camera and covering it and all that, it's hard to see. So that's usually a good way to keep that, keep your good lighting spread out even, not too bright. You see, like, you don't see any like brightness on my face or rings or anything like that. Nice even light tone. There's details in here and like a whole setup. I think I even put I drew a diagram in here. Man, this is all messed up. I don't know who's messing with this. Now we're not optimizing. Yeah, I don't know who did this. People messing with my files. But anyway, yeah, I have a diagram that I drew. I can always like pop it in here too, of like the ideal lighting setup. That's all. I also talk about it in one of the videos I have. But yeah, essentially that's optimizing the videos, basically making sure you got the right lighting placement, and kind of a nice balance. And then here's some video filters if you really want to get into it. Like I said, I like to do, oh, I forgot I do also do the sharpen a little bit. So adding the contrast, doing the, increasing the sharpen a little bit. And then I don't do it from OBS, but on my camera, which most cameras you can do, is I actually increase the exposure a little bit if I'm doing a darker room like this, or I just leave it as is if I'm going to be like having my full lighting setup. The reason I did it like this is because I have not got my lights back out from being at the National. So I'm being lazy. All right. So that kind of talks about that too, how to mess with that to get the better picture. It does get dampened a little bit once it's sent over to Whatnot for them to also encode and process it. So that does help with what am I trying to say? With like the just making it stand out a little bit more with the keeping that color contrast, vibrant and everything. So. Okay. Yeah, these are optimization tips. Again, you guys can look at that. This is what I was talking about earlier about the encoder settings for the hardware. I told you this, it was in here somewhere. So video encoder. So just to give you a quick recap, like what we talked about. Got the NVIDIA NVEC H264, and that's best quality, the P7, right? And you can see down here, you got the very fast, ultra fast, and super fast. So that's all in here too. If you guys GPU, you can use that. Like I said, most of the good stuff is in here. And again, I'm going to be releasing the video for a little bit faster walkthrough that you can follow without having to listen to my rambling. But this page is going to be irrelevant because Whatnot is trying to no longer support beyond 3500. So just keep it at 3500. Trust me, you don't need to go up from there. Can't see the PowerPoint, just the face cam. Good call, my friend. Let me go back. I forgot I changed that for a second. That's not the one. Here we go. Thank you for pointing that out. Basically, what I was saying was we got the optimization stuff here, which you can go through it. And right here is the settings I was talking about with the GPU. So make sure this is visible for you. So you can see you got like that's what I was talking about with setting that and the video encoder. If you have a GPU, you can set that up like that. And then the rest of the settings here, like I mentioned, you got this is going to be the same. The rate controller, it's constant bit rate instead of CBR, 3500, 2 seconds. And then the other one I was talking about, which was the P7, right? You got the P7, P6, P5, which is very fast, ultra fast, and super fast. The settings I was talking about, and it's all laid out here as well. So this page no longer relevant. Stick with 3500 kbps and you're good to go. And then a little couple bonus things in here, like how to set up the scroll text, right? So if you want to set up your text to have like, scroll text, like kind of, I don't know if you can see at the bottom. Let me see if it shows up on the stream. Yeah, so like at the bottom of my overlay, you can see I got the scroll text going on there. A little bit different. Mine's set up. I have I'm fancy. I try to be, special, unnecessarily so I'm bougie. But it's essentially the same thing. It does the scroll text. And so this is how you would do that. You just create a text source, and then you just add some filters to it. So that talks about that in there, how to do that. Countdown timer. Most people don't know about this, but you can actually you can configure a countdown timer within OBS, right? You don't even have to do anything. So this kind of walks you through how to get that set up. So if like you're running givvies, or if you're going to do like, hey, every 10 minutes we're going to, run this special type of auction or anything like that, you can just set that up, and then every time you unhide the source or reactivate the source, it will just pop up with the timer and reset from the time that you set it for. And so that's pretty cool too. And so that's just a way to do that. And that's built right into built right into OBS. You don't really need to do anything like that. I try to stay away from using like plugins and all that stuff. But yeah, as you can see, that's just gonna walk you through that there. And then the duration of time, whatever. The instructions have it pretty straightforward. Basically, you make a text source, you go into your scripts. It's already in the default scripts folder. You just add that in there, the countdown, and then you come set the settings for that, and then you set it. That's it. You just set it. When you're done, you just hit. I cut it off on the screenshot. You just hit OK, and then you're good to go. Hotkeys, basically your keyboard shortcuts. One of the things I like to do, especially if you're streaming like cards or any type of mystery boxes, breaks, anything like that, even for apparel, gear, all that stuff. If you you can set up what's called a replay buffer, and so as you can see, like I put the keyboard shortcuts in here, but essentially what it is it keeps like essentially a buffer of however long you set it for. I typically go for like 45 seconds. Sets up a buffer of your feed, and so whenever you, let's say, get a big hit, you hit an uptown, hit a downtown, whatever, you have your reaction, everybody's happy-go-lucky, and then you remember, oh shit, I want to post on social media. You just hit this, like in this example, it would be like control #1 for the keyboard shortcut, and then that would automatically save a separate clip, a separate movie file in your videos folder, so you don't have to go like record your whole stream and then go back through and try to like find all those like moments that you had. Very good if you're going to be planning on posting on social media. I used to record all my streams and then go back through and then try to find like where those moments were. Even if I took notes, I was still off, or I'd use like the receipt videos and all that. It took me hours. Like doing this, literally just boom, I got my clip and I'm good to post it. Couple maybe tweaks, but here's how to set that up. Basically, it's a couple quick settings. You're just going to go to your output tab. You're going to enable replay buffer. You're going to set the time you want it to play. And then back on the shortcuts, you'll go ahead and, back on the hotkeys, not shortcuts. Back on the hotkeys, you'll go ahead and add your keyboard shortcut, just like you see here, shift, whatever that is, colon or apostrophe or whatever. And then that will save that replay for you. You do have to make sure your replay buffer is running, and so that's what this other one was for. What I've started doing recently is there's an option now under the general tab. There's a checkbox. It's like the 5th checkbox down from the first section, and it says automatically restart replay buffer when you start your stream. So as soon as you start your stream, it will automatically start the replay buffer. As soon as you end your stream, it will cancel it. So all you have to do is turn it on and set it for the time you want, and then put whatever keyboard shortcut. You can also, if you have a Stream Deck, you can also use the Stream Deck for the replay buffer as well. And give me 1 second, homie. All right, sorry about that. Again with this one, nobody wants to see my ugly ass face. Here we go. All right. So going live on Whatnot. This is probably the easiest part of all of this, to be honest. Most of the people, I've worked with hundreds of people now on setting these up, and the biggest concern is always like, am I gonna know what to do once I like get an overlay, or if I do something like that, if I get my OBS set up? And that's actually the easiest part. All you have to do is you log on. This is where I'm going to actually stop you. I'm going to come back to the beginning here, and I'm going to talk about this WebSocket server. So this is the part I skipped earlier that I was like, it's going to make sense for me to just move it towards the end, which is when you go into OBS, and you're going to go to tools. You're going to set up your WebSocket server. Essentially, this is you're making a port basically, or however you want to call it, a little WebSocket server, right? A little connection for Whatnot and OBS to talk to each other. And so all you have to do is come in. You're going to enable the WebSocket server. Ooh. You're going to enable the WebSocket server. You're going to create a password. You're going to not use the generator because it won't work. And I've emphasized that everywhere. And then you're just going to hit apply and OK. Remember, you're going to jot down that password, or you're going to remember it, or whatever the case is. Because then from there, what you're going to do is go to, now we're going to go, you go to Whatnot once you've done that. And you'll go to Whatnot. You remember you have that password. And then you're going to go to the Show Tools page, which I'll just live demo for you now because I'm getting tired of this damn PowerPoint. I wanted to do the live demo, which was the initial plan, but I gotta, the show must go on, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, so basically, all you'll do is you go to Whatnot. I just came and went to Whatnot, so it's the home page. You're gonna go to your seller portal, right? So you would go to your seller hub. You were not able to see that, right? Let me see. Oh no, yeah, okay, it went through. You're gonna go to your seller hub, and then from here you can go to your shows, and you can hit the drop down, and then you got your show tools option right here. That's how you would get to this OBS tools page. Now there's another way, which is if you're, let's just say, making a show. So if we just schedule a quick show. Let's say, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? There we go. What the hell? I was like, what? They don't like me no more? Well, it's not NFL, it's football cards. Okay. It's been a while. Let's say I was going to do a break, so I come schedule my thing, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. Schedule my show. So now I schedule my show, and I'm here. My mouse is being funny again. You got the OBS tools button that sits right up top here. And so you hit that, and that's going to take you to your show tools page. I recommend just bookmarking the page. It's easier that way. So once you open up a tab, it'll be right there. You just hit the button, and it takes you right there. So again, you go to Whatnot. Under the shows tab on the left menu, once you're in the seller hub, you have show tools page, or directly from the show page. From the shows page, you can hit the OBS tools button. So now is where we go through the process of going live. And like I said, this is the easy part. So all you would do is come on for the day. You'll turn on your computer, open up your OBS, you make sure your camera source is working, you make sure your sound, everything's good like that. I'm going to go through a basic setup with you, but you make sure all that stuff's working fine. Shit, high priority ticket. Live OBS failures. What? I'll look at that. Whatever. I'll look at it here in a minute. Again, side note, I don't think I mentioned this, but yeah, make sure you're using Google Chrome. And then you'll come here, Show Tools page, open up OBS, come here, Show Tools page, enter that password that we made right here in the WebSocket server. In the last step, you hit connect. You'll see it's connected now. And then you'll scroll back up. And I cannot start my show because I'm obviously streaming right now onto YouTube. But from there, you would come here and you would just hit start show, open show, and then that would essentially bring you here and your show will be live. And then, yeah, you'll see your feed from OBS. So that's the easiest part, is actually going live from Whatnot. Do you have any questions about that? If not, I can I can actually go. I'm gonna jump into. I'll probably. I can't do that, man. I'm gonna have to take a minute here and mess with the see where I can get the mock-up to work because I want to be able to show. Um, I want to be able to show a couple things that we walked through here. So, yeah. Unless you have any questions, I'm going to be right here. I'm going to throw on the BRB scene, but I'll still be here. I'm going to see if I can't get this mock-up environment to work again, just because I want to be able to answer your questions and show examples, but also for the what can I think straight right now? For the issues that we're having with the iOS camera, I want to show how to fix that, and then also if any Q&A that may require like an example, or it might be easier to do it that way. So I'm gonna see if I can get that fixed. So give me like 2 minutes, go get some water, take a leak, do what you got to do, and then we'll be back here in a couple minutes, and I'll see. Hopefully, I can have that set up for you. Think of any questions you might have as well. I appreciate you. Be here in just a minute. I got a solution in the works here, y'all. All right, give me a second. I'm putting this scene quickly together here, and then I'll show you what we got. All right, let's see. This should do it. All right, let's see what we got. Wait a minute. Where's the... Where in the... Let me see what we got here. Okay, this is almost where I wanted it. Bear with me. There we go. All right, now I'll get rid of this so it doesn't drive you nuts. All right, so for a couple of things. One, for just the basics on this, right? Setting up our scenes and our scenes collections and all of that. It's probably worth mentioning how it works really quick. I usually try to give an analogy. I'm not thinking of one at the moment, but I don't like the way this is. There we go. But we're going to go for it. All right, so you guys can see here on the left, I have like my sources and my scenes, and then you have your scene collections. So I have a shit ton because I make all the different scene, the overlays for people, so that's whatever. But your scene collection essentially is what houses all your sources and your scenes, right? So it collects all the different scenes, and within each scene you have your different sources. So for example, you can see I have like my BRB screen, I have my screen share with the chat and the face cam, I have no cam, I have the phone share one. All that to say, each one of those has their own sources in here. And so you can see here, it should be okay because I'm not sharing my screen, I believe. Yes. So you can see on here that each of these sources, it's like I'm trying to do this without a preview, so I didn't have my simulator working. So I got my chat window here on the side. I have the phones, right? I have the images up here. And so that's all these things listed on the side. And you can share those between scenes and just arrange them differently. So for this one here, I have my face cam. And it's the same face cam that I use on this one. It's just set up differently. And so that's how that works. And then your scene collection now is not going to have any of those. You have to recreate everything as you need it when you make a new scene collection. I use this different scene collections would be, for example, like me, I have different ones for every like different clients, and because I'm making their setup for them, and then I allow them to import all the sources and everything. And so, if for example, I use YouTube streaming, and then I have like my whatnot streams, and I have my different types of streams that I do, and so that's a reason why I would use.
Be telling them who did it. I be going crazy with it. I should be committed. I know that they jocking me, they never gonna admit it. I'm fired up. No, it's not tied up. We winning. I got more bars than a
Versus a YouTube live stream. Jesus, why are you being stupid? And so that's how you would. That's the reason why you would set that up. And so what that would look like maybe in Whatnot, if you were to use it in Whatnot, would be, you could actually set up where, maybe you want to have like pack rep scene versus like an auction scene, right? Or if you want to have like one where you just have like a close up, you're just talking with people, or showing off a card where it's super zoomed in, or I don't know, whatever it is, or if you're out, pulling stuff from pallets or something like that. And so, whatever the reason, like those would be the reasons why you would have different, scenes or scene collections, right? So like different types of streams, or if you're streaming on different platforms, etc. And so that's how that would be set up. And so it gets people get a little bit confused by that, but just think like if you have to do where you're setting up, if you have 3 scenes and then you're setting up a different type of stream where you're going to feel like you have to set up all those scenes over again for something different, just create a separate scene collection. So then like you can switch back and forth, right?
but I'm fed up. I don't ever get bitter, just better. Just better. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like long form ones I have, right? So this is another streaming one that I had set up, but it was not fully configured. So these are all just like, different options or different ways to configure a group of assets, I guess. I don't know. I always get weird about explaining that. I have a hard time explaining it. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. Apparently in one of my videos I did a good analogy, somebody said, so it was one of the later OBS ones, so if you want to go check that out, you can. Or if you just want me to explain it again, I can try my best. But I don't think it's really like that important. You get a hang of it. The only kind of nuance I would say when in here is what happened to my, where's my OBS share? This one, right? Yeah. So the only nuance I would say to that is, I don't think I need this so you can see. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, cool. The only nuance to that is your sources. The order of your sources does matter. I'll give you an example. So if I was to add a chat window in here, right? This will I think this will help. You can see that I have that right here. I'm going to make this bigger so it covers up this trash that we don't need to be seen. So I got the chat window here. Now, I also have on the left-hand side this display capture, which is what I'm using right now to capture my entire screen, and then I have it cropped so you can see OBS. Now, the chat window is covering my display capture because it's on top of it in the list. So think of it like if you're stacking papers on a desk, right? And like whatever is not covered is the only thing you're going to see on that desk, right? So if I stack 2 papers perpendicular, I'm only going to see the bottom half that sticks out from underneath the other one. And so that being, with that being the case, now if I move this display capture above the live chat on the screen, we'll see our infinite kind of inception of sharing my screen. And so that's kind of like the only nuance with that I would say to be aware of, because that can throw people off when starting to set up your cameras and your overlays or whatever else you got going on there. So I think that's it for this one. And then the only other thing I want to show you is setting up. So what else? We set up the mic when we went to the settings. If for whatever reason you add another mic or it's not connecting, what you'll do is on your audio mixer here, sometimes it won't show up, so you'll have to go back into your settings here, and then actually I could walk through these like really quick. Damn it! I wish I would have done it this way. That emulator not working kind of threw me off. I don't want to be late for the stream, but whatever. So for the stream here, you see I have YouTube. That's where you change it to whip. This is all going to be different because we're on YouTube, but this part will be the same. So this is what I was talking about, the second box down, your audio. If you want to share your desktop audio, you can do it. Choose whatever you want. I just stick with the default because hard coding sometimes has issues with like it changes, it picks up a different speaker or something. Whereas this, you'll always have it set to whatever is working. The microphone, though, I like to keep that static. And then, like I said, you can add multiple microphones or auxiliary audio. And so a lot of times you'll find like when creating new stuff, it will change. So make sure that's activated here. And then you hit OK. And then you make sure you see your microphone on this audio mixer here on the side. And oh, this is way too slow. I don't know any of these songs. This is just like a no license song playlist. Then you have on here the desktop audio, like I was talking about. What you want to do is make sure if you're going to share that audio, the new version does not have this monitor and output option. It just has monitor and monitor off. It has monitoring and then it has monitor off. So make sure it's set to monitor and output if you want to hear it. If you don't need to hear the audio source in your headphones or through your speakers, just leave it to default, which is monitor off, which means it will play through the stream. You just won't be able to hear it coming out of your own computer. And then that's kind of like the basic walkthrough of the OBS. Anybody have questions before I'm gonna start getting to I'm gonna answer some Q&As here that people have been asking, and I think I have several of them, so I want to make sure I get through them. I know there's a bit of a delay that I need to fix, so I'm gonna let that go for a few seconds while I pull up some of these Q&As, which I actually had kind of active right here. Pardon me. All right. And then if anybody wants to see any of my custom OBS previews and some of the tools that I do have available, we've been rolling out some cool stuff. Just throw that in the chat too. I think it's, like I said, I think it's just us, Jeff, right now. I know a couple people have been popping in and out, but just to throw that out there. And Jeff, if you had any questions too, feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and how am I going to set this up? Oh, you know what? I'll add it as a source. And then that way I'll share it on the stream as well. Get out of my way. Oh, wait, I'm doing display capture. I can just do it like that. All right. So, first question. What actually is OBS and why use it for whatnot instead of just the app? I mean, we just kind of went through OBS. I would say the name kind of helps. It stands for Open Broadcast Software. And so essentially that wouldn't mind seeing the tools like chatbot and stuff we talked about on Discord. Oh, bro, why didn't you tell me that was you the whole time? You got me over here like, man, poor Jeff. The chatbot, I don't know if I'll be able to show you live. 'Cause I don't believe I might be able to. I might be able to, but it's not. It requires a live stream to like really do its thing. But I can kind of give you an idea of what the setup would look like. So we can look at that. Um, let me see. Let me see this chat. The OBS open broadcast. Let me answer some of these Q&As, and then I'll take a look at those unless you're in a rush. So essentially, we got here. What actually is OBS? So open broadcast software. It's all good, brother. I appreciate you coming here. Open broadcast software is basically what it is here. It's a hub. Think of it like a broadcast studio for home, right? So you can be able to bring in different sources. I mean, you can do a ton of stuff, right? Like with OBS, you're good. Hey, I appreciate you, man. You can bring in a ton of stuff within OBS, right? So you guys can see I'm sharing part of my thing here. You can see I have like the YouTube widget here on the side, so I can kind of see what's going on with everybody in the chat. I have I can bring in the different visuals. I have the different audios I can bring in. If I had like a soundboard, I can bring in. You can connect your Stream Deck to it. Different browser sources, which is how we use the team overlays. Like I was showing a minute ago, I can have like these set up, these like chat previews for YouTube. So like you would see on here, I don't know if you notice on here on the side, I have live feed. My camera, typically I didn't set up the green screen, but if I had my green screen on, I would basically be standing here, and then I have my chat back there, and this is usually where I would do Q&A at. So you just bring in multiple sources, and it allows you to record and or broadcast to different platforms. You can do simultaneously. You can do by itself. However you want to do it. It's pretty neat feature, especially it's free. It has been for a long time. And there's plugins you can use. All types of stuff. So that's basically it. I mean, I don't know if that answers the question, but let's see what else we got. What OB? Let me add this in here. We'll feature actually. Yeah, this should be fine. How was your day, Jeff? Now I want to call you Hefe. There we go. All right. What OBS settings should I use for? Now I feel like, man, this whole thing messed up my flow, man. Messed up my flow, man. We'll just put myself here. There we go. What are they saying? What OBS settings should I use for whatnot? Resolution, bitrate, and FPS. So we already went through that. But I can give you just a quick rundown one more time. It's also, you can get it in the guide. Let me turn this off. So basically, if we look at my settings here, which I'm not, actually I can't show you because we're not using it. Yeah, I would take a look at the guide here at what we have. This is a similar setup except for, or go back and replay the video output. You want to have swap this 1080 versus 1080 by 1920 instead of the other way around. And then your stream you'll have set up on their whip, and then you'll have to do majority of this output is the same, except actually it is pretty much the same. I don't think I may have messed it. That's probably why there's a bit of a drag here for the YouTube stream, but that's essentially what you want to have for whatnot, except for the video output it's going to be 1080 by 1920, and your stream will be a little bit different. So yeah, sorry, I don't know if that helped or not, but we did talk about it. If you want to go back and replay it, and then or if, why is this not, and or if you want to download the guide. I'll get you the link to that at the end of the stream. And then what else we got? How do I connect OBS to whatnot, and where do I find the stream key? So the stream key, that's a good question. So there is no stream key, right? I did show you how to go live, whereas we make our web tool, our socket, whether that WebSocket server settings, we enable that, add a password, and then we go to our show tools page. How much for just a whatnot team overlay? So just the overlay itself, there's I think it's 188, I think we have it, or 188, and it's just a package. We have the 3 packages. That's what we do. So it's either that one, the advanced package, or the custom package, which starts at $650, includes the automation and everything like that. But just for the overlay itself, and it gives you the setup. We'll do the training with you. You said busy earlier. All good. That means you got stuff done. You're getting some work, getting work in. That's good. So yeah, I mean, some of these questions I can look through them later. I'll show you guys some of the overlays here, because it seems like I feel like that's what you guys are here for. So let's look at those. Cool. Yeah, so here's some of the recent ones I've made. Oh, you know what? Let me get rid of this. Nope, not that. These are actually right here. Actually, some. This is a recent overlays that I've had here on the mockups, but I got it set up where we can see it a little bit better. And so that's gonna be right here. All right, let me move this over here so it's easier for me to chat with. How you doing today, bands? Did you have any questions about overlays or anything, about OBS or anything? So I'll mention these in a bit, because these are all part of. Some of these are part of a whole thing. But what I will show. Okay, so a lot of people now are getting into. I've had a few requests for like Wonders of the First. So here's an example overlay we made, for example, for Wonders of the First. Essentially, what this one is standard box break overlay, but set up a little bit differently by the categories here. And so what essentially happens is these are all custom spots, obviously. And so we get the player list, and you can either copy and paste it in here, along with which orbital it's going to be assigned to, or you can do a CSV import. When you do that, it'll automatically kind of assign those characters to those categories. And then you have like your ticker panel and things like that. A little bit basic one, but it's just a little bit different for Wonders of the First. So that's one of the overlays we have. And then on the bottom here, it's hard to see, but it does track. Jesus, wrong button. So we have the buyer list that will come down there and assign keep track of it with the with what they bought, and so sometimes we can set that up, on the phone page or on your straight auction page. But often what people like to do is set that up, like we'll crop it out like that, how I have here, and then we set up a separate. I'll show you a whole like setup too, shortly. But we set up a whole entirely separate scene that's exactly the same almost, except it shows the seller's list versus the rest of the panel once it's sold out. So people would typically auction off everything they have and then switch to that scene, so everybody can see all their purchases, and they don't sit there every 2 minutes and they're like, hey, which team did I get? Which character did I get? And so they'll do it that way to kind of show that off. This is that's the tool I was telling you about. So I think you'll like that tool. I'll show you. If you did want to check out some for yourself, there are some examples. I'll be updating you soon on if you scan the QR code or go to the website. Here's some live examples on there that you can mess with. So just up there to play with, to kind of give you an idea of different layouts that we've done and the features that are available. What else we got? So this is the one we used recently for our charity stream that we did at the Nationals this past weekend. And so this one's a little bit differently. We don't really have per se a like a full on like box break area. But what we did have was where's my win? I needed my preview window. Sorry, 1 second. Because I have no idea what's actually coming through or not. There we go. Oh, see, I'm actually kind of glad I mentioned it because it's not updating for you guys, is it? Oh wait. Oh, it is. Okay, well, that was weird. All right. So this one is like basically we have this automatically updating with the the live goal, right? We set a fundraising goal. There was a lot of not a little, there was a lot of extra kind of intricate automation that we had. So basically, people who were donating live at the event would donate it, scan a QR code, register their stuff. We would sell it on stream, and then like it would pop up like their name, who did what, who's selling, who raised the most money, and then I'm giving away a Command Center Elite package, which is a $5,000 package. I only do 4 of these a month because it's very entail, and that includes some of these other things here. But that's what this is. This is not it actually. This is this is it. So this is like what a Command Center package is. So basically, it's everything with the overlay. You get full automation. You get all the tools for life. You get the hosting for life. You get everything. And we also do a CRM build for you. We bring it in. The overlay is just 188. I thought I mentioned it. Sorry if I didn't. Or that was earlier, actually, right? So yeah, so and then it has like everything, and then you'll get like you get so this AI assistant is separate from the chatbot. That's for running your back end, so you get your command center, which is like similar to this, like what I have here for my stuff. Keep track of your whole business, and it brings in your sales and all that. You can connect to different platforms, CRMs, basically everything. We can set up tax reports. So it's like a full business integration along with it, and we build it out with you. There is an application. I only take 4. Like I said, we only do 4 a month. And so I don't, we just basically go off of applications and who's basically more likely to either commit and or be a make use out of it versus not, I guess I should say. I don't know, hard to speak. So we take these by application only, but everything stays on file, which that's neither here nor there for reach out in the future. But all that to say is here's some tools that come in there. So this is another one here. This one might not be active right now because we had an issue, but we were making changes. Essentially, you would come in here and kind of give some details for it, and using AI as well as your details and maybe anything that you add to it, plus with the assistant bot that you get for this, it will actually generate thumbnails and titles for your stream. What we're working on now is when you actually schedule the stream on Whatnot, it'll bring in whatever information and pre-populate it, and then you can come in here and say, okay, I'm going to do $1 start auctions. I'm going to do, whatever my deal I'm offering, buy 2 get 1, or $10 for stash or pass, or whatever it is, what type of vibe you want and where you want to post it. Any extra notes, you'll put that in there, and it'll actually generate a full-on script for you. If you wanted to post content, it'll give you a content plan like, hey, post this on this day, use this image. It'll give you a thumbnail for Whatnot. It'll give you a title for posting on Instagram. It'll give you a title for your stream. So it just basically will create a marketing plan for each of your shows, as well as give you the actual images for it. And so this is proprietary to TSU, and this is part of your Command Center package that you do receive, as well as. So this is your live break kind of monitor. So you can set it up in here, or you can set it up beforehand, which allows you to kind of calculate like what you should be doing your box breaks for, what you should be doing. Why is this showing up weird on here? It looks like it to me. Oh, it could be better, I guess. So this is here we go. So this actually will show you like kind of, how much you should, if you wanted to like see like what you should run your box breaks for, what your profit margins would be. Like if you wanted a 20% profit margin and your box cost $450 and you had 30 spots to sell, then you need to be selling them at $25 a spot. And then it will take into account like Whatnot fees, processing per transaction fee, and like shipping and supplies, right? I just put as an example here. And then this is like per transaction is you got 30 cents. So that plus the 2.9, that's the processing fee. You get what I'm saying. And then so if you did it at that, your target margin, you want to make 20% on this box. You're selling at $25 a spot, and this is what your potential to make. And then it kind of breaks down the numbers. Now what this other, where did it go? Oh, it's right next to it. So what this thing does is this will actually take, when you enter in your breaks and say you want to like, okay, cool, that's, you know, that's kind of what I want to run with. This will actually monitor live for you as you're running your live stream. And so it'd be like, okay, hey, you're only, you know, it's going to keep you up to like keep you on par with your goals. So if you're sitting here like, okay, you set those up, you need to do it at $25 a spot, but you're starting them at, let's say, 15 so you can get some interest, and it's a good set, whatever it is. It's going to tell you, like, hey, you're behind. Now your new average, you need to start running these fours this much. Here's what you need, 62 more spots at your average break to break even. You need $357 to go, you know, and so it's going to keep you on task and not let you kind of get away with, like, you know, hey, every once in a while you run a deal for people, right? Or you do whatever the case is. And so this will keep you kind of on track with making sure you're not losing your money, and you're on track to make your money. And this ties into, like, if you want to set the break advance, or just do it right there, and you can kind of keep this off to the side. You don't have to show this in your stream, and it's just so you don't have to, you know, it's just a live monitor of what you have going on, which I think is pretty cool. And then on the flip side of this is using, you know, standard averages for the industry, based off of some information you put here. It's going to tell you most likely where your money, or where your improvements can be, right? So like to improve your click-through rate or to improve your show up, like, you know, you need to do this with your hook or do that, and kind of the potential money you're leaving on the table by not taking action on some of those things. So I'm all about analytics, and I think, you know, the best way to make changes and grow your business is by understanding what you have and what you don't have, and how to fix it, or where you're lacking and your strengths and weaknesses. And so that's kind of like helps with that process as well. And then you have all your analytics on the back end, right? So where's our can't believe we don't have that open. So for example, where's my test account here? So example, in the back end here, you'll have this. This is what it would look like somewhat in the command center as well. A little bit more intricate there. You can pull reports and all that, but essentially this will give you your breakdown, right? How much money you're doing on a daily basis, per day, or per day, per show, per month, per whatever. And then it will give you like the graphs, and, like, you know, which is missing for some reason. It'll give you the graphs. It'll give you kind of where, you know, where your P&L on an overview, you know, is kind of at, and just some basic information on this part. On the command center, it gets very in detailed. This is the portal here. This is a different thing that we have, and then this over here is just kind of showing you your features that you have available. You can come in here and enable features for your overlay, and run all of that, and you can sign up for betas and upcoming features. You can check your orders. I have different, you know, because I have different stuff going on with other people, and then also is just going to be your support portal. So in here, you got the TSU assistant, who comes in here and can actually make changes and help you fix your stream, or like your overlay. So if you have issues, like I said, mentioned, people have been having issues with the latest OBS update and using their iOS camera. You can actually come in here, and I'm going to be making some updates to this to be able to account for that. So like if you came in here in like another week and you're like, hey, I updated my OBS and my camera stopped working, I'm using my iPhone, you know, this is going to say you're most likely bumping into this issue, and it'll give you the instructions on how to do it. If there's anything that's needed on my end, and it has the capability to, depending on the level of exposure I would have to, or the access I would have to give to it, if it's minimal access that won't hurt anything, it can actually do those updates for you, and get you up and running. Because right now, you know, people are just, you know, I get hit up a lot, and so I feel bad. Sometimes people have to wait until I'm done, you know, working with somebody else or helping somebody else fix something up. And so this is kind of to help alleviate some of that wait time and some of those issues. And if it's not able to help you, it will just create a ticket for me, and then I'll know, like, and oh, you heard me say a minute ago, I got a ticket that came in. It wasn't the highest priority, but it's a high priority ticket. So, that way I know, boom, it let me know I got a ticket that comes in. So I'm going to go see what the issue is here shortly when I'm done with the stream. And then I'll be able to, help them. So it kind of keeps everything organized, keeps you in a queue, but can also take care of some issues for you on its own. So there's all of that. And then, so that's pretty much all the tools right now, besides the chatbot, which again, I can't really, I can, but it won't be the full experience. Now, back to, you wanted to see some of the additional overlays. So here is another one that I've done. And this one is, what is he doing with this one? I think there's something. Yeah, so we got the banner there. We got, this is he does like different types of breaks. So I think it does division breaks. It does regular team breaks, but then also he does games with wheel. So we have so we have a custom wheel that we built that ties into his board or the automation. So that sits there. You can control that from here. Shuffle the spots up, refresh the wheel. You can spin it. And depending on what platform you're on, you could use this, can't use it, whatever. There you go. Got the Eagles. Go ahead, mark the winner sold. It'll take it off the board even if you want. Also vice versa. So there's that. That's another layout we have here, a little bit different. I'm trying to show things that are just a little bit different with some different features. What else? So there's that one. Here goes another one. This is a custom break. They do WNBA and then they add custom players in here, or custom spots in there. And so with this one, they have different modes that they do. So for example, you do just a team board. You can do a straight custom board, and then you can do like the combo player and team board. And within all of these too, you can always edit, right? You can always edit your scroll text or your ticker, so you can change the speed of it, make it a lot slower, faster, and add different words. So everything's like I try to keep it as customizable as possible. And then you can mark chasers off if you want to have those be indicated there differently, or even be taken off differently. For them, they wanted them all categorized and marked with chaser to the bottom, whereas you'll see with like this one with like quantum here, where's the wheel at? Where's the wheel? Get this wheel out of my face. I always lose where it, like, there we go. So for like this one, if we did, they don't, I thought they had chase spots, never mind. But I'll go back. So yeah, so they're marked different chase spots. What else I got? I thought I had several of these open. Yep, and so just different stuff. I mean, really, like, the sky's the limit on what we can do with these. As long as it's relatively, doable, I can make it happen. Trying to think if there's any. Let's see what other. I'm having trouble connecting OBS to my whatnot. I'm following the steps, but it's still not working. Are you getting any errors or anything, my friend? Oh, here goes another one. This one's actually... This is a good one. I like this, actually, the way this came out. And it's actually a more unique layout here, or a more unique board. That's not it. Just the connection failed. Did you enter? Did you? All right. So, trying to connect over to what now? Following the steps, but it's still not working. So you went through. You enabled the WebSocket server. You put the password in, and you use that same password on the whatnot page. Yeah. Okay. So, and it's not giving you any error. Just on the whatnot page, just says connection failed. So, it, that should be. I mean, usually the connection failed just means either the password's wrong, or the password's wrong, or the website server is not enabled. Um, Could you double check that the where's my okay. Um, so right here we have. Let me change my thing up here. So. So, so yes, I mean, if you look here, we got the guide there. It says it could be that. Um, I'm trying to think if there's any other issue. You said you verified that works. Um, Connection failed with no details. That's odd. Could you might just try to have to do it again. So what I would do is go back to OBS. Um, Go back to OBS and go back. Oh, yeah, go back to OBS and then go back to the tools or to the to the tools. The WebSocket server setting is not showing it. Oh, hold on. Let me switch back because it's not showing my. Damn it. It was working. We were just using it a minute ago, Jeff. Okay. Um. Yeah, it's weird. All right, let me switch back then. There's no use in doing that if it's not going to work. So. Yeah. So. Damn it. Nobody wants to see my face. I'll go back. Go to the tools, WebSocket server settings. Go click inside of there. Change the password. Make sure you hit apply. Then OK. I would shut down OBS, restart OBS, and then I would go to whatnot and try to enter that new password that I entered, and see if you hit connect from there. If that doesn't work, you may have to check the other thing could maybe be your stream setting. So make sure it's set to whip in advance. Those are only a couple things that come to mind. Try those two things and see what you get, if that helps at all. Yeah, and then let me know. I'll be here a little bit longer. Yeah, it's got to be one of those two things because that's usually for there's something else like I'm even surprised it wouldn't say WebSocket server like not enabled or something like that. So I'm surprised it just says connection failed. Because obviously you have internet connection because you're here, and you said you verified that. Yeah, sometimes the shit just gets hung, and so you just clear it out by doing a new password, restart OBS, and I bet you that'll fix it. Especially if whatnot's not telling you why it's not connecting. Yeah, I would go that route. What was I? Was I seeing anything? Oh, I wanted to show you guys the other overlay. Where does it go? There we go. There we go. So this one may look like a typical overlay. However, we have the ability here we do a regular break, right? We can do a custom break if we want, add custom spots, whatever. We can also do a draft. So we got this thing set up to be able to do a draft. So essentially what you would do is you had all your spots, right? And those would be sold. It keeps saying to enable website and server, but it is. Okay. Disable the website and server. Close OBS. Honestly, I might even just restart my whole PC. Close, but if not, at minimum, close OBS after disabling it. Then re-enable it. Set a new password again. Hit apply, OK, and then make sure you use that same password on Whatnot. And I would like open a new browser too on Whatnot. So close your Chrome browser. Make sure you're using Google Chrome as well. And then I would close my Chrome browser and start go back to the Show Tools page. You're using the Show Tools page, right? Within OBS. I mean within Whatnot, from Whatnot. And then, so back to the overlay here while he's doing that. Yeah, basically you would sell off your spots for a draft. You are okay. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, do that. I would try that. Something's getting hung with that, and that happens sometimes. Double check and make sure? Did you have a stream that was still running that was previously connected to OBS? Sometimes I forgot what it's called, but the bear token will get caught up and stuck in OBS as well. So I would try that. And then definitely turn it off, reboot it, or restart, refresh, or do a brand new Chrome browser, if possible. Like you can do a hard refresh, clear the cache, whatever, and then restart the stream from there. And then try again from there. With that, and if you do change the password, always make sure on that screen you hit apply and then OK, because that's one of the few places where it will make sure it does it. True crime stories video, that's clean. That's a clean overlay. I'm gonna reach out for my Whatnot stream. Oh hell yeah, man! I appreciate that. What true crime stories you got? I like true crime stories. I listen to Mr. Ballard a lot when I'm working, zoning in. I appreciate you for coming by. Yeah, man, let me know. I was just showing off some different overlays after we did like some, Q&A. Now I'm helping somebody troubleshoot here. So I was just showing this one. This is the newest kind of draft. This is the newest kind of featured one that I built. I'm starting my first stream this weekend, and I want to do it with OBS instead of my phone. Let's go. Honestly, man, it does look sick, when you have it all set up. I'm on the wrong YouTube account. Well, hold on, man. You're not going to tell me about your true crime stories? What's up with that? Are you trying to hide from me? All right, man. Yeah, DM me on Instagram. Let me know it's Mr. True Crime over here. And then, we could chat. Or if you wanted to, I don't even see. I'm slacking. I'm not even selling. I'm just hanging out. I do mostly football breaks. Okay. So if you want, there's this QR code here. I don't know if you're on your phone or if you're on the computer. So if you scan that QR code, this will take you to... I'll try to make that as clear for you as possible. It will take you to... it'll take you to a page with like all the different packages on there. There's a link on there to schedule a consultation call. So if you want to just schedule like 15 minutes to talk about like what you're looking for, and then we can go from there. Either way, or just shoot me a message on DM on Instagram what you're looking for, and then whatever works, we'll go from there. Your preference, my friend. I need to get off. Have a great day. All right, man. Appreciate you. Let me know. Make sure if you're still having issues with that a little bit later on, let me know. I'm more than happy to try to help you get it working, man. All right, my friend. I'll take a look at that here as soon as we're done with the stream. I'll probably be wrapping up here shortly. I think I'm going to go through this overlay here, and then I think any more Q&As and anybody has. I haven't seen any besides the guy we were helping here a minute ago, Angel Gonzalez Angel. I'm assuming. And yeah, so then I'll take a look at that and I'll get back to you. Yeah, so this one is the newest one, or the newest, I guess, I don't even know what I would call it, type of game or type of layout or structure somebody asked me to make, and we did it. So basically, yeah, you'd auction off the spots here, and then you can set like how many rounds or you want to do, if you want to do a regular snake draft, or just round drafts, and then like, so if you put the names in here, um, whatever. I'm just typing shit. But you can see that once you fill out all the spots, then you can do just like randomize and start, and then that actually opens up down here, and then get out of the way. I can actually close that too if I need to. That'll bring the, so now we got our draft stuff down here. So we got a draft stuff here at the bottom. You can see somebody's on the clock now. So team one, whoever's assigned to team one or whatever, or not team one. That's the name of the bullshit I typed in. And then if you wanted to see the full draft, you can do that here. And then you would just select from the board. And that can be automated too. If you want to do that, you can select from here. And then you can see the round kind of just keeps going and going until it's done. And then you can start breaking. So this is a pretty cool little setup here we set up. Smart idea, instead of Giants fans going for every first day. Yeah, I know. They go for that, or when you have to wait till like the end of the break. It's like highest bid or something gets like the Giants, which I think is a good idea for sellers, but it's also like for buyers probably not the greatest. But yeah, I guess it just depends how bad of a Giants fan you are. But yeah, so it's just cool stuff. Like, people like to, I've been challenged to come up with all types of different breaks or different types of layouts, and I like a challenge, so come up with it. You can see here too. I don't know if you guys noticed, it's showing the draft information on this ticker up here. But then when we're not in draft mode here, I don't know if you noticed, we got like some custom text here, but then it's also showing live sports scores. So right now, we got like the MLB, NBA, and NFL. Oh no, those are his messages. So if you go to second here, you'll see, there we go, live break. So right here we got MLB, we got LA 0-0 against Baltimore. We got that scheduled for 8-4 or at 6:35 p.m. Eastern time. So we got the games right here, live scores that will pop up and keep everybody on your stream, right? I know I've been in streams, and I've also streamed where people will I've seen it time and time again. They're just like, hey, I'll be back. I got to go check the scores, because they got that FanDuel, they got that parlay they're running, to make sure they're not missing out. I didn't know the White Sox were playing today. So it's a pretty cool feature like that to bring in. I know Jeff is excited and waiting to hear about the chat bot. So there's a chat bot that helps moderate the chat. Made some recent updates to that too. And so that comes with the memberships. So basically the way I do the overlays is you can buy the overlay, you get the automation, you get the hosting for free. That's on me. That rhymed. But then if you wanted like additional, which I can never find the one I'm fucking looking for here. And it's all on that page I was telling you about. But if you did want additional like tools and stuff, like we do the subscriptions, and so that'll get you like different access to different stuff. Actually, it's probably better to look at the portal, which I can't find. I can never find. Too much opened. Let's do this. There we go. So, where's my second test again? There we go. So, like right here, you can see like some of the features you have, and then it's like you have your plan options. So the elite plan is $50 a month, but it covers, you get included everything except Command Center, and you also get future updates. You get all the future stuff. You get priority support. You get all the tools and bells and whistles that come with it. So if anybody was interested in doing that, and that's just a monthly subscription on top of whatever the builders you want. So you can see right now the draft board I was showing you guys was in beta because I hadn't fully launched and tested it yet. And so that's going to be launched soon. We have some more things I need to add on here, as well as I got the leaderboards thing that's going to be coming out, so that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Always constantly adding, upgrading, and integrating. So that's that's where it's at. But like I mentioned, to get the automation and the hosting, that does come with does not come with the package, just the individual package, the 188 package, but for the top two, or for the I forgot what the name of them are, the packages, but the second package and the custom package and up, you automatically get free online, or you get your overlay free hosted for free automatically. And if you get the automation package, you automatically get automation. Everything beyond that is going to be reliant on like what features and stuff you want to unlock. Yeah, so that's that. If you guys want to chat with me about it, again, shoot me a DM. Or you can scan the QR code, schedule a meeting with me to discuss more in person, or like on a live call. But outside of that, I'm gonna see if anybody has any other further questions that we can address here, or if you want to see some more overlays. Yeah, if you did want to see more overlays too, you can just go right to. I don't know why dude. Everything's being weird lately. That's how it's supposed to be. So if you go that QR code, this is where the QR code will take you, and you can see and mess with some of these other. These are layouts that are overlays that other customers have purchased in the past, and so you can see, kind of mess with some of that stuff here. Get to use them, get a feel for it, see what you're looking for, any ideas that spark your interest, and if you're only wanting like if nothing up here will tickles your fancy, you can always just let me know. We're gonna do a custom format. Or custom design, and we'll talk about that too. Mostly, I mean, these are all custom in their own ways. Like, they're all different. They're just, some of the underlying structure is the same, but like this is a complete custom build right here, for Disney and Star Wars. And then, yeah, so tons of different layouts, tons of good stuff. And then, yeah, right here you have a link to book a call. Same thing up here. If you want to schedule a consultation call, we can talk about what you're looking for. Feel free to do that. Here are the packages that I was looking for. So you got the 188 package, 398 package. That's the one that has everything on there that we were discussing. And then the custom one. And then you'll go ahead, if you want additional features for like those other, the chatbot and the drafting boards and all that other stuff. You get the subscription with that, or the live scores as well. And then if you want to get all of that included for life, as well as a custom business build for CRM, for integrations, automation, API integrate, like all of that stuff done for you completely for your business. You fill out the application here. We only do 4 of these a month. So if that's something you were interested in, this is going to be for more people who already have like an established business, not for if you're just starting out. This is more expensive, and it's complete custom, and it's also like I said, we do full CRM builds, automation, database, all of that, and it ties in with your one on stream, your OBS, your TikTok, your whatever you want to tie it into. We make it happen. We are partnering now with Loop. If you guys are looking to look at something different besides Whatnot, so we're partnering with Loop, the app, and I am pending developer partner with TikTok again, so I got all that stuff in, so I should be getting access to a lot more APIs that I could do some cool stuff with. That being said, if anybody has no more questions, I'll go ahead and end the live stream, and I'll reply to some DMs that I know I got, and I'm going to start doing these a little more often. Different things though, so like this is just to get us started, like a quick overlay walkthrough. I'm thinking about doing like a stream deck setup next time or whatever, and then just kind of do some Q&A, or I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but I want to start doing like these kind of edutainment lives kind of once a week. So That being said, everybody, it looks like we don't have any further questions. I appreciate the people who did stop by. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. And we'll keep it grooving. I don't know. What's that? Was it keep it? No, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Groove. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, catch you guys later.